Hi everybody, it's Leanne. We're here today doing stuffed French toast. It's a caramel apple pecan stuffed French toast. It's one of my mom's favorite recipes. We usually do it in the fall of the year, but it's her birthday, so we're gonna treat her. Okay, for our ingredients today, I have 4 apples that we're gonna peel and slice, a teaspoon of cinnamon, 3/4 cup brown sugar, 3 tablespoons light corn syrup, 3 tablespoons of butter, 3/4 cup of walnuts or pecans, whichever is your favorite or whatever you have on hand. I happen to have pecans today. That will either have them chopped or chop them up. 12 slices of a firm white bread. This is a great place to use your stale bread or even the ends of the bread. Today I'm using an English muffin toasting bread, so it's a firmer bread that's going to handle being soaked overnight. 3 eggs, 1 1/4 cup skim milk, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. For your utensils today, you're going to need a cutting board, a liquid measure, a tablespoon, a teaspoon, a 1/4 cup measure, a knife, and a carrot peeler, a skillet. Then you're going to make the dish in a 13x9 pan. Okay, so let's start by preparing our apples. I've already washed the apples, and we're just going to peel them. You can use any apple in here. Typically when I make this, I use a tart apple, like a Granny Smith, but really any apple works. I just happen to have only Golden Delicious in the house at the moment. And we're gonna take the core out. So let me get rid of this. We're gonna do slices, so I'm just gonna quarter the apple to start with, and then take out all right, then we're just going to slice these. So I typically slice them in little strips, like so. This recipe, it's pretty easy. You just make an apple sandwich. So, okay, so there are apples. So I'm going to make a smaller recipe because that would be way too big for us. So I'm going to make a smaller recipe. I'm actually going to cut it in half. But you take a 13x9 pan and you want to spray it with cooking spray. So it's all ready, and we're going to put that aside. I'm going to take our skillet and we're going to add 1/2 cup of water to it, and then our apples. And we're just going to get those separated. What we're going to do is just soften these up a little bit. So this is going to take about 4 or 5 minutes. Okay, so you can see that the apples are starting to soften. We're just going to flip them over. It's about halfway through. They got about another 2 minutes. So as you can see, our apples have softened. So what I'm going to do is take those out of the frying pan and put them in a bowl. So we're going to sprinkle our cinnamon on there, and then we are going to stir it up. So here we have our cinnamon apples. So we're going to let those cool down a little bit and work on our caramel sauce. In our skillet, we've got our butter. I'm going to add the brown sugar, and then we're going to add the cornstarch to this. The trick with the corn syrup is to spray your measuring spoon, in this case it's a tablespoon, with cooking spray, and that'll help the corn syrup come out quickly. It works great with anything sticky like honey or corn syrup that you use. We're going to just start stirring this up. Everything incorporated. So what we're looking for is for it to come just to a boil. What we're looking for is that the caramel is coming to a slow boil, which if you can see right here, it is starting to bubble. So I'm going to turn the stove off. Okay, so we're going to just pour the caramel into your baking dish. And be careful because the sugar is hot and can really burn you. But we want to get all that good caramel out of this pan. And then just kind of roll it around in your pan. And you're going to take your nuts then and just sprinkle those over the top. So I'm using pecans today because that's my mom's favorite. Okay, so next we're going to start on our egg mixture. So I've got 3 eggs here. We're going to crack in the bowl. And I am only going to use 2 because I'm making half a recipe. So I'm just going to take a fork and break those up. Okay. To that, I'm going to add the milk. The nutmeg and the vanilla. All right, so that's going to be our egg mixture. And then we're just going to mix that up well. And what we're going to do next is make our apple sandwiches. So you're going to take your apples, which have cooled, and just start layering those in your bread here. This is one of my mom's favorite recipes. We like to have it when we're having company over in the fall for breakfast. It's great because you can make it ahead and just pop it in the oven in the morning and you're all set to go. And what you're going to end up doing is making 6 big sandwiches if you're doing the full recipe. So once you get them all covered, just go back and keep placing the apples till you've got all your apples used up. Don't be stingy with the apples in this. Oops. Okay, so then what we're going to do is put the covers on. So then we're going to put the apple sandwich right in your baking pan. Okay, so now we're ready for that egg mixture. Give it one more stir here. And then we're just going to pour it over your sandwiches. So if you're making the whole recipe, you're going to have 6 big sandwiches. What I like to do is kind of spread it over the top to make sure that top is really soaked and covered well. Your bottom slices you don't have to worry about because that's where actually the extra egg mixture has gone. So then all you need to do is put some plastic wrap on this, and it is going to sit overnight in your refrigerator. Okay, so we've taken the French toast out of the fridge after soaking all night. I usually just kind of check the corners of the bread to make sure they are wet from the egg mixture, and if not, I just take a little bit of milk and get the ends soaked so they stay nice and moist. Then we're going to put it in a 325 oven for 40 minutes. So there you have it, stuffed French toast. If you're serving it at the table, what you can do is flip it upside down carefully onto your platter, so the caramel and the pecans show. Otherwise, you can just cut it in the pan and flip it over to serve. So I hope you enjoy.